Hey guys, Mike Bland here in St. Louis with Shadow Company Investigations. I just wanted to make a quick video on something that I haven't not heard other private investigators talk about, and also something that I think is a very interesting topic, and also something that people need to be aware of. And also, you know, I don't know if this would necessarily pertain to someone that's becoming an investigator. And yes, that's my trusty canine Max, who has to always, now he's doing his little laughing thing there, steal the spotlight. So anyways, it may pertain more to someone who is a veteran investigator. You know, especially like myself, I've been at this game for 25 years now, between police work and private investigations. I tell people literally I've just done nothing else my entire life. So everything, my entire brain is wired to seeing things, you know, noticing things going on that are suspicious. Somebody's up to something, you know, noticing other people doing surveillance, you know, noticing things that other people frankly just do not notice or even think about, doesn't even remotely enter their brain. So things you learn as a police officer. And what happens, I've learned, and what this topic is about, is other people that, just no fault of their own, they're not stupid or anything, but they do not notice these things. And so what happens, I've learned, and now that I'm 47, is what I've learned is they will think that you are imagining these things. If you're with your girlfriend or your spouse or whoever, and you see somebody doing something, you can tell that they are engaging in casing a place out, possible criminal activity, making hand exchanges with someone. Maybe you notice other people doing surveillance, which I noticed yesterday. And I will address that interesting story in a minute. But what happens is they will tell you that you are imagining these things. And then, not all people will act like this around you, but what I've learned is, and it's like me being a Christian also, you know, you have to hold steady in your story and who you are, and don't back down from somebody that, just because they don't understand these things. In fact, what you have to do is explain to them and articulate why you're noticing these things. If it's someone you care to explain this to, in my case, you know, maybe my girlfriend. But when someone tells you you're always imagining these things, or imagining this or imagining that, or they take it to another level and laugh and tell you you're paranoid. And I've got a couple people that, in my case, they like to talk like that. And what I've learned is that can grow very thin on your patience if you are a professional investigator, because quite frankly, that's how you're making, people are paying a lot of money for your services because you're good at what you're doing, and it's because you've had the training and you know these things. And just like whether you are a veteran and you're in the military, if you go dropping a civilian off over there, they're going to quite frankly do things like step on a tripwire, step on a landmine, because they had not had the training, the experience, and quite frankly, they have no idea what the hell they're talking about. So what I've learned is, same thing as in the civilian world, whether you're a police officer, professional private investigator, doing private protection detail for someone, there's so many things you have to always look out for, and those things only come from training and experience. No one becomes a professional by doing an online class or watching a free training video. You know, the guys that are the real deal, like myself, when it comes to surveillance, investigations, security, whatever, you know, this has been a lifetime spent doing this. And so, again, when someone tries to school you on the fact that you're probably overreading into things when this is literally what you do for a living, you know, you cannot listen to them. You cannot let that make you second guess yourself. Because what I've learned is, it's kind of like those self-fulfilling prophecy things. When other people are not noticing these things, they're always telling you're imagining whatever. It'll really make you kind of start to second guess yourself. But what like I said, and it kind of reminds me of being a Christian also, and having a good moral compass. In life, you got to know who you are, what you stand for, and also when it comes to knowing what you know, you have to stay true to that, and you have to always stay sharp and hold your ground on that. You cannot let people make you second guess yourself. If you do that, you're going to lose that edge that has made you an investigator, that has made you a professional, whether you are a FBI agent, Border Patrol guy, detective at a police department, Secret Service guy protecting the president, whatever you are. It doesn't matter. You have got to keep that, those things that make you sharp, your intuition, your moral compass, being able to read people's body language, being able to simply sense that thing in your gut that tells you something's wrong, this person's up to something, this person looks like they could be casing the place out, they're wearing a backpack, they're dressed a certain way, this guy might be an active shooter coming in the grocery store, those kind of things. And if there's any time in history when these things are also the things that may keep you alive and prevent you from being a victim of a carjacking, sexual assault, victim of an active shooter, victim of a mass shooting, and these things, there's so many interesting aspects that this topic also, and so many people that it can help in so many scenarios. Whether you're a woman who is always alone, living alone, traveling through bad areas for work. If there's any person that cannot afford to be oblivious, it's someone like you. So I hope this video reaches out to a lot of people, and whether you are someone learning to be, going into law enforcement, going to be an investigator in the military, going to be a private investigator, a security officer guarding a plant, do not ever, forsake all the training and experience you get, and remembering in the back of your mind these thousands of people you've arrested, these thousands of people you have caught. And when this person the other day was questioning my ability on why I think someone's up to something, I simply responded this way. And I said, have you arrested thousands upon thousands of people? Have you caught people? Have you arrested rapists, murderers, burglars, guys doing home invasions, guys kidnapping kids, people wanted for robbery, bank robberies, whatever? Thousands of these things. People on terrorist, people wanted as a terrorist in St. Louis. And the person responded no. And I said, well, I have. So, you're not going to school me on something that I've literally spent my entire life doing. So some people are operating in a different level, whole different realm. And a lot of people in our society, they have been indoctrinated to just see between these two little things right here, those little blinders on, and only see what they're told they need to see every day, what they're told to think about, what they're told to question, what they're told not to question. And it's called being programmed. And it's kind of like I've heard before too. If someone raises two kids and the one kid is always told things like believing, basically programmed again to have a very tunnel vision mindset. on told that this whole list of things over here are not real and these things are, versus telling the other child that being and teaching him to have a more open mind on things and not be tunnel visioned and not be programmed and not have the limited beliefs, or maybe same as like I've had to learn, you know, we also have these limiting self-beliefs in life as well. If you're going to be successful and be a business guy, but you're like, I can't do this, or I'll never be able to reach that, that's preposterous. Again, it's like there's limiting belief systems in life. What I've learned in being a 25-year investigator is, you know, you cannot have these limiting beliefs of any kind. Tunnel vision thoughts, just not able to accept something unknown, something weird, something mysterious, something unexplained. You have to have a very, very open mind. I have actually met everything from other police officers, other private investigators, federal investigators. I mean, guys who are titled as professional detectives that literally, they even have had these tunnel vision, these not having open mind. And in life, you know, there are strange circumstances that you will come across, strange investigations or whatever, and if you are shut off to those possibilities, those weird motives the bad guy may have, or the weird crime you're investigating that may have happened, everything from cheating spouse to investigating some terrorism, and if you're shut off and programmed in your mind to these beliefs, these limiting belief systems, and maybe because you're afraid of what other people are going to think about your theory, then you're not standing up for who you are. You're not standing true to your training and your experience. And this also all points to another topic of worrying about what other people think. And you frankly cannot give a shit what other people think. If you are a professional investigator and you have been doing something your entire career and you know who's who in the zoo, again, whether you're tracking down a murderer, cheating spouse, protecting a place from being broken into, a corporation, sensing that somebody your company has hired is really a rat, is really a saboteur, there to obtain information, spy basically, corporate spy, you know, that you're about to be ambushed on a security convoy, anything at all you're doing. If the hair's standing up on your neck, you're getting a sick feeling in the pit of your stomach, or something is not right, you have got to pay attention to that. That is the difference between a professional and some amateur hour guy who has no idea what the hell he's talking about. But again, what I've learned is, and what you have to tell those people, those, you know, 25% of people out there, or however many, maybe it's 90%, I don't know, but there's a whole lot of people that will question your ability, question your training, question your judgment, question your experience, question your confidence, simply not respect your ability as a professional. So I guess at the end of the day, it's not worth taking personal. They just don't know. And so again, you can laugh and brush them off, or you can, if they're a friend or family, maybe take a second to teach them why it is you know these things. Again, they're probably not going to be able to comprehend or wrap their mind around it when you've spent, you know, almost 3 decades doing something. And this person, it was kind of funny yesterday, they tried to take it a step further and question and took it a step further and made an interesting comment. Well, you think everyone you see is up to something. Well, and I've got to take a drink of some more coffee here, if you will. Seeming like the coffee is not as strong today. So, and basically remind this person that no, it's not a matter of thinking every person you see is up to something, but when you do see a person and you absolutely know that there's 4 or 5 or 8 weird things going on with this person, whether it's body language, something in public, something around near your business, or something that may be a threat to you, when you're able to articulate this many things, there's absolutely something out of the norm going on. It may turn out this person is just very odd, and there's a whole lot of weird coincidences going on surrounding this person. Doesn't mean they're guilty of a crime. It doesn't mean they're getting ready to commit a crime, or that there's some, possible active shooter. But in general, especially, you know this if you're a professional like myself, you're able to articulate several things, especially right off the bat, then there's a very good chance this person is up to something, that they deserve more attention out of the crowd than the rest of the crowd, obviously. That's just going about their way. And so, not to beat a dead horse here, I think you get the moral of this video. Stand true to what you know, and do not let anyone ever question your ability. If you're a professional, and my thing is, with those types of people also, I had a person tell me one day, the same person in fact, "You're kind of cocky. Do you know that?" And I said, "You know what? You're right. I am." When it comes to the things you know you're good at, do not sway, falter, fail, doubt yourself, second guess yourself. You better have full confidence in your ability. After all, no one clearly else will. They will question you, they will doubt you, they will tell you you're wrong, like they do with everything. And so when it comes to your profession, of all things, that's your trade craft. In my case, it's what I make a living at. It's what people pay me hundreds of thousands of dollars over 10 years of my business for. But don't let anyone come into your life and question your ability, ever. Get away from this person, cut them off, shut them down, or depending on who they are, maybe explain to them that they are very wrong, and you hold your ground. And no matter how much that offends them, so be it, because they're not respecting your ability. So if you're an investigator like myself and it's someone talking about hiring you, you don't owe anyone an explanation. You don't have to defend yourself. But if someone takes it to that level and they want to challenge you, per se, then remind them that you're the one that's lost all the friends in law enforcement. You're the one that's been shot at. You're the one that is the real deal. And ask them if they've ever been through any of these things. And their answer will most likely be no. And then, again, this was kind of one of those shoot from the hip, one-off videos. It's something I wanted to address because I feel there's probably a lot of other expert investigators that have, at some point, been laughed at by a friend for trying to point something out, and they just couldn't understand it. So again, guys, Mike Bland, Shadow Company Investigations. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe. Later.